Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, folks.
Aye.
Well, as you can see, David and I have got some rather supportive gear on today because this will be coming up as one of the subjects. It's no up as number one. At number one today, we're just going to talk about Scotland's block grant because this morning we had a couple of stories where they were talking about spending cuts in fire and rescue, meaning ambulance and fire brigade. As explained this morning, the fire brigade and the ambulance or fire and rescue have had increased budgets year on year, but because of something called real-time fiscal situations, it's actually no gone as far, and I explained the reasons for it this morning. But as David and I were perusing through this stuff, David's discovered that since 2021, Scotland's block grant has been cut by
6.4 billion.
6.1 billion or 12.1%.
6.4 billion.
6.4 billion or 12.1%.
Less than in 2021, that is.
I'm saying since 2021, the block grant has basically went down by 6 billion, 6.4 billion.
Yeah, or 12.7%.
But once again, folks, it's not that the block grant's been actually shrunk. It's that they've created economic conditions where the money doesn't go as far.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about this morning, and that's for the term, fiscal term, the real time comes from it's either real time spending or it's real time cuts. And you'll hear governments talk about real terms. In real terms, we give them X amount. And that's the actual money they give them. And it is an increased amount. But because of the fiscal situation, it wasn't enough to cover the increased cost of everything else. That's what we then call a real terms cut to spend. All right. So, a wee bit of nugget before we move on to the Secretary of State for Scotland, better known here in Scotland as the Governor General, Ian Murray, putting his head above the parapet to join Anna Sawa and insisting that Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer were right to try and reform the benefit system. Now, what the Governor General has said, David, and this is quite important, what he has said is that the UK benefit system is in real danger of exploding and becoming unaffordable if it's not reformed. Now, we know, David, you and I both know that that's not true. There are many, many ways they could raise enough money to cover the cost of public services for ever.
Quit spending money on nuclear weapons.
There's a good start. Save 250 billion quid.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at the list, I mean, Jerry Hassan, I don't often subscribe to Jerry Hassan, but he put down a list that's very, very good. Starts off with Finland.
Oh, no, we'll not that bit yet, David. We'll put that list up. You've sent it to me. We'll not let that bit yet. We'll let the UK spend on benefits yet.
I won't steal your thunder then. All right.
But, see, we're at the bit where this is nonsense that the benefit system could explode and that it's unaffordable. David's just pointed out, scrap the Trident scheme, 250 straight into the pot. They could reform, of course, their tax scheme and bring it into balance with Scotland's.
Yeah.
And that would raise them another 11.1 billion quid for Westminster. How about we equalise income tax and dividend earnings?
Yes.
So that they're taxed the same. There's another 5.4 billion raised. So what we're up to so far? 266 billion? That's no fucking bad. So there's no danger of exploding. It's decision making.
Yeah. So in other words, what you're saying is Ian Murray is a fucking scallywag. Simple as that.
What I'm saying is him, like Starmer, like Reeves, are talking shite. These are political decisions. Political decisions. We know the real reason why Labour have ended up being the party of continuity when they taken over for the Conservatives, and that was fucking chaos. And that is because they decided to stick to George Osborne's fiscal rules. Fiscal rules that were produced over a decade ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago actually. No. But Rachel Reeves has backed herself into a corner. Now the Secretary of State, just to let you know folks, we're in silly season. The Secretary of State for Scotland is putting his head above the parapet because there's nobody there to fire back at him at Holyrood. It's in recess. This parliamentary term is over until the summer recess is over. But now we'll go on to David's bit. And that's the bit when it comes to spending on welfare. Well, I'll have a look, see if it's there, David, see if I've made it to my timeline. If it is, I'll put it up. Okay.
Yeah, please do.
The UK spending on welfare, on the safety net, is among the lowest in Europe.
Yeah.
Go there, David.
Well, UK spending on welfare, on disability and pension, you name it, right, is 10.8% of GDP, right? Whereas you look at Finland, for a start, they're at the top of the list, 25.7% of GDP. You might say, oh, Finland's a tiny wee country. What about France then? France is 23.8%.
Right, now tell us how much the UK spends.
Well, 10.8%
10.8%.
Yeah.
And it's just about the fourth amongst the lowers. Huh?
Yeah, we're fourth from the bottom. Ireland sits at 8.1. Don't know what Ireland do. I don't know what the situation is there. Then you've got Malta, 9.7. Iceland, I don't even have a number beside Iceland. I don't know why Iceland is down there. And then United Kingdom, 10.8.
But then, I think the reason why Iceland's in there is it's a brand new system, so they haven't had a chance to measure it really.
Then you look at just who's just above us, right? Hungary. Yeah, a couple of percent, 12.3%. Romania, 12.8%. Croatia. I've been to Croatia, a lovely place, but it's like they rely on tourism and all the rest of it, right? Okay. Romania, what we're talking, 12.8%. Croatia, sorry, 12.8%, 13%, sorry.
So some of the poorest nations are spending more than we are.
Yeah.
Let's get to this super chat, David. It's a cracker. It's a big one. It's an important one. Thank you, John. That's massive.
Sick, man.
Afternoon, guys. Weather sunny, windy, and Dunfermline. Anyhow, here's a wee bit funds for the food bank. Funny thing is, Westminster have got money for bombs and war, but not for people. Are you? Yes, yet? You know it, sir. You know we are. Thank you very much, John, the truck driving legend. Producer. I'll get it to you eventually.
Yeah.
But, so, to get back to where we are, folks, as I say, not just do we spend less than almost everybody else in Europe on our safety net, the fact that it's been cut to ribbons and Labour has chosen to take a sledgehammer to it once again. By the way, folks, as we know, these changes to PIP and all that, they've just been kicked into long grass for a couple of years while they go and do the consultation bit, because legally they had to. They've been breaking their own law by no doing it.
Yeah.
So, these changes to reform are coming. They'll be coming a couple of years down the line.
Yeah.
Some of them as early as next year. But as I say, the Governor General stuck his head above the parapet to tell us all that our safety net is unsustainable, which we know is bollocks, because there's nobody there to hit back at them.
Well, you've got to look at the political side of it. Is what he's trying to do is he's trying to hold up the Labour end when it's all gone quiet, because the fact that it's all gone quiet allows people to go, oh, hang on, that's a load of shite.
Oh, it gives us time to look and say, hold on, we'll just kick this into long grass for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And they've only did that because of a legal requirement to do their assessments, their impact assessments. So the only reason why it's been kicked into the long grass is because they hadn't done the impact assessments. Now, when it comes to the universal credit part of it, they already had the impact assessments. They're going to go ahead with that as quick as they can.
Yeah.
You know, which is an absolute shocker. As I say, the only reason we're really talking about it, David, is because the Governor General, see the Bob with parapet, because there's no direct to cut it off for him. So we may as well cut it off for him. Because, folks, you have to realise that actually there is plenty of money for our public services and the safety net. It's
Yes,
your political choices.
Yes, sir. It's a political choice. As you say, it's a political choice. And
Yes.
what we need to do is we need to force the political choice back the other way.
And that's what Jeremy Corbyn's trying to do, with setting up a new party.
That's
He's
right.
going to do to Labour what Reform has done to the Tories, driving further and further to the right.
Yeah.
And Reform has done the same. It's dragged Labour along with it.
Yeah.
Corbyn and the Sultana Lass and the other independents, they're setting up a new party to try and shove Labour back in the other direction. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But as I say, folks, we know they've got options. They could start the weapons of mass stroke mutual destruction. They could, of course, realign their tax system with ours. That would raise 11.1 billion. They could, of course, balance out dividends and income tax. They could go after what we
Don't forget, in a few weeks, there's going to be additional political pressure put on them because SEPA are having to release all the documents reference the radioactivity at Fastlane and Coalport on the 28th of July. Yeah, 28th of July is the date. Keep that in your minds, lads and lasses, because really, that's an important date. We need to be watching out for that coming down. That's a watching brief.
Right, now, subject number 2 today is a pretty comedy story, David.
Go on then.
Right, Ferguson shipyard's back in the news.
Oh, right.
It was in the papers this morning. Now, before the Parliament went into recess.
You're going to do bouncy.
In a minute, not the bus. See, that is a comedy sketch right now. Anyway, apparently the audit committee at Holyrood went for a nice wee jolly and had a wee wandered into Ferguson shipyards. And the head of that committee, one Richard Leonard, confused wee fella because one brain cell Bailey's got his brain cell. He comes out and tells the BBC it's a wonderful facility and it's got the possibility of having a fantastic future because there is so much work coming down the pipeline for the border guard, for the renewables industry, for the up and coming small ferries that have been needing right across the CalMax fleet in other parts of the world. And he waxed lyrical and then he put in the boot. And he said, but it's going to need 25 million worth of investment. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this or no, folks, to modernise it and to make it competitive, and it's going to have to work hard to get out the bad press. That's at that point, David here's rolling about the fucking laughing. Because Bouncy Boy and his outfit have been all part of creating that bad fucking press. You know? Don't get me wrong, Ferguson didn't have to help them. You know? But the Scottish Government and CMAL didn't help either. CMAL putting boats into production before there was a final fucking plan for the boat. That's totally mental. Nobody ever does that. Nobody. David will tell you, you get your idea fixed out. You get it down on paper. You get it ready to go into pre-production. So you make a test module. Make a boat, fully working model. And then you go into production. But no, these things were built, the hulls were built without knowing what's getting in the fucking the hull.
Well, at that point, you had to have a hull built and put in the form of propulsion that we're going to use and have a proof of concept. And that happened.
Didn't happen. So anyway, that's Ferguson's and CMAL's part in this. But
That
the
is
Scottish Government
that,
is investing
that to
14.2.
me is ultimate PR failure. And PR failure does matter. We might look at it and we go, well, PR, but it's nonsense, right? But in the situation of a company like Ferguson shipyard, it's important to have good PR because it's the only way they get fucking orders.
That's right.
They are
Anyway,
a sales organisation first and foremost. Yeah.
so Bouncy Boy, he loves it. Thinks the place has got a great future. Glad the Scottish Government saved it. Going to need 25 million quid. 25 million quid to bring it up to competitiveness and to help it get out its bad press.
Yeah.
They say that's the bit that made me laugh because Bouncy Boy was involved in fucking creating that bad press
Yes.
in his party. But to be fair, the Scottish Government 24-25 have given Ferguson's Marine 14.2 million just to modernise. Now, according to Bouncy Boy, they're going to need another 11 million to complete the task.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know what government will have after next year, and we can't set a budget for the yard until after that because we don't know who's going to be in charge. Probably us. So we could plan the new, but even then we wouldn't know what the budget's going to be because, let's face it, this is a failing economy. So budgets are going to be forever in decline. Even if the number at the top line looks the same.
If Annie Sarwar's in charge and Jackie Bailey's at his side, do you think any money's going to go into Ferguson's? No.
No, I don't. As I say, I just thought it was funny. But that's all there is in Scottish politics. Unless you want to talk a wee Borders village, screaming out for families because they don't want to lose their school. Nah, not really, eh? So, we'll move on to the reason why David and I are wearing these things today.
Yes.
As we know, folks, David and I reported this on Thursday. Palestine action was prescribed after a vote in the Commons. They were prescribed along with the Russian imperial movement.
Not prescribed, not prescribed as in your drugs. Proscribed. Good word.
Sorry. Anyway, they were prescribed in a sly move by Yvette Cooper, who stuck them in on a closed bill which couldn't be amended alongside the Russian imperial movement, which is a white supremacist movement that carried out terrorist attacks across Europe, and the German neo-Nazi murder cult, who the name sort of tells you, murder people.
You look at all these names of people that are organisations that are proscribed by the Home Office.
David, you and I have the look. Internationally.
Finish, David, right? My goodness me. It's like to put me in the same boat as them. That's absolute nonsense. And also to put Palestinian Action, which is a peaceful protest group, in the same boat as them. That's absolutely ridiculous. So both David and I support Palestinian Action. Now, ready?
Yeah, we'll get the phrase right in a wee second. But what do you might call it? But you're right, David, that's enough. That's going to be enough to get you 14 years in jail, what you just said.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it in a second, but there was 80.
I've got a shite pension anyway, so maybe if the government comes and keeps me, that'd be a good thing.
Listen, according to the news this morning, you don't have to get 3 meals a day and a free telly. You get golf clubs as well.
Golf as well. That's right. That's right. I can't play golf, but it'd be nice to have somebody watching. Rather than watch them playing football, I go, come on, can we put a game of golf? See the countryside. That'd be nice.
Anyway, David and I were having a look. There are now 83 prescribed international organisations on that list, and there is about 22, I think, or a wee bit less. UK-based, most of them are Northern Irish organisations.
Yeah.
What do you might call it? You will get a prescribed terrorist act prescribed terrorist groups information on the government website at www.gov.uk. Anyway, it's government publications, prescribed terror groups or organisations. Okay, that's the title of it, and it's www.
The important reason why everybody should be involved in this protest is very simple. If we don't get it done now, I'll tell you what else will be on the list of prescribed organisations is a Yes campaign.
That could be the extent as it goes, David, because we have to tell you what Palestine action has been prescribed for. It's what we call direct action and protest. It's always been legal. It's got a long history as well, like the suffragettes, like Gandhi. Now the UK government now own these things and fly them about as if proud of them. But at the time these people were taking the direct action, they were public enemy number one.
Yeah.
Now, direct action includes things like hanging banners, graffiti, lobbing paint, breaking windows, damaging property, locking on, blocking of public thoroughfares. These are all legitimate forms of direct action and public protest.
Yes campaign, okay, I haven't seen them doing any graffiti. However, I've seen them blocking the main roads.
Oh, I've seen them blanking graffiti, David. The end London Rail ferry was sticking stickers in public infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, okay. Yeah.
And that guy can cover some ground in that lorry of his.
True.
So, the Yes movement could be prescribed because of direct action with guys like me sticking shit on public infrastructure. And this is a dangerous move, folks. It's another clampdown on England's right to protest, public protest. It's a further clampdown, and it's a start of a clampdown on ours. It's a misuse of the Terrorism Act 2000.
Yeah.
And it's a misuse of the law. It's a misuse of power. And that's
I have no problems with certain terrorist groups, or majority of the terrorist groups that are on the Home Office list. I go, Al Qaeda, fill your boots, right? You know, things like that, right?
National action.
Yeah.
Yep, prescribe them.
Yeah. But Palestinian action, come on.
Peaceful protest group, whether they're using direct action or no, the term's there. It's called peaceful.
Yes campaign, do I want them on that list?
Well, we're just about there anyway, because they've already labelled us as extremists.
See, if I thought it would actually get the majority of Scots off their arses and go, no, we're fucking not putting up with this, I'd say, get us on the list tomorrow.
Oh, aye. Hey, Haspray, you're right. Throwing eggs at a public servant, violent conduct. Oh, maybe we'll all get prescribed.
Well, what about the other protests we've seen recently? The wee cards that people were holding up, not my king.
Aye. Well, folks, to let you know, there is a social campaign, a media campaign underway. And that is people are asking others to put these exact words on their social media timelines. It's to make a mockery of Yvette Cooper and her dodgy way in which she got this group prescribed. So the words that you need to be typing onto your social media timelines is I support Palestine action. And they can come and get us all, because I've just said it live. Will this video be taken down by YouTube? They're a bloody good question, David.
Well, if they do, they do.
Because
at least you'll know.
You're in the rules. You can't advertise a prescribed group.
Yeah. Well, as far as that's concerned, it's like we are advertising a prescribed group because not because the group deserved to be prescribed, because the government of the day the fucking Labour lot that are blooming led by Israel and told by Israel what to fucking do have made it prescribed.
Aye, and Peter, if you want to see that video on the Israel lobby influencing Starmer and Yvette Cooper to prescribe Palestine action, you will find it on Declassified UK on YouTube.
Also,
And they are.
do not forget, if you haven't seen it already, you need to look at the Labour files that's on Al Jazeera. Still up, still one of the number one documentaries.
Aye. No, to say they do need to watch that. They do. Everybody needs to watch that.
And it's like, if you imagine at the end of the day, what are we hoping to get out of this, right? Point one, we know for a fact as Scots we're going to end up. The Yes campaign is going to end up as a terrorist group. We know that.
I don't describe as aye.
No, it's going to happen, right? But the most important thing is we need rid of the regime, not the government, the regime.
The whole fucking war before you go.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Drag down and start again.
And at the end of the day, it's like, unless that happens, we've gained nothing.
Well, what's interesting, David, this Section 13 of the 2000 Terrorism Act, it's a misuse of that power.
Yes, it is. It is a misuse of that power. And it's a misuse of that power. Why? Why is that a misuse of that power? Because I say so. And because you say so. And because
everybody in the room says so.
That's right.
But folks, to move on with the story. Midnight Friday, Palestine Action becomes a prescribed terrorist group. 1 o'clock on the Saturday, a peaceful protest was taking place in Parliament Square below the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, the peaceful protester who won the freedom of India. And the protesters had told the police well in advance they were holding the protest, and the police came along and took 29 of them into custody because 29 of them had placards that say, I support Palestine action. Amongst them was an 83-year-old fucking minister. There was a 70-year-old Green councillor.
Priest, yeah.
There was a couple of university professors, emeritus professors.
Right.
And shocking. We'll stick some pictures there up, David, shall we?
Yeah, go on.
And what did the Met Police say when he was questioned about it? No age limit on the law. That's what he said. No age limit on the law as they drag old people away for peaceful protest.
Exactly the same as a soldier or whatever to say, I was only following orders, and take that as being a defence in a future court case is wrong. And these police people that have done this, they should have refused to do it. Sorry, but they should have refused to do it. And at the end of the day, it's like their excuse, as in there's no age limit on the law. That's ridiculous. Imagine taking away an old age pensioner.
That was a spanner here for Mark Rooney on the BBC. There's no age limit on the law. We will lift peaceful protesters. We will lift peaceful protesters because Yvette Cooper phoned us up and said, this law's been passed, stamped down in protest against Israel.
Yeah.
But they're undermining our democracy. Well, their democracy, actually. It's not quite as bad here yet. But let's say we all decide to have a pro-Palestinian protest next week, and we all show up.
I think.
And we all have.
I think. Rather than embarrassing the government, what there is of the government, it's like I would say it's not a case of embarrassment; it's a case of getting rid of them. Now, in my words, it would be time for independence, independence, independence. That's a simple
But
way.
Dean's got it
But
right.
nothing,
Next
well,
it
that's not
comes
going
for
to
you.
happen straight away. So we've got to make sure we get rid of these bastards.
Now let's tick it off so far. They've come for the children, they've come for the students, they've come for the pensioners, they've come for the disabled. Now they're coming for the activists.
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
That's
They're
right.
coming for me.
That's
And
right.
by the way, folks, David and I, when we ask you to write these words, I support Palestine action on your profile, the way it's been asked right across social media by a lot of influencers, can't I say David and I are influencers,
Yeah.
but when they investigate and they investigate why you're doing that, they'll take it back to the person who asked you to do it. That was me. That was him.
Okay. Me.
So don't you worry about getting lifted out your house. We'll worry
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. But please, put these words into your social media. Right across it. TikTok. Right across X. Whatever's out there. Patron. Blue Sky. Facebook. Anywhere you've got an account. Write those words. And if the police come knocking at your door, tell them I tell you to put it out there.
For me.
All right. Because what they're not going to do is come after you. They're going to come after the people who are trying to embarrass Yvette Cooper. And that's the people who are asking you to do that. Because when they come and ask me, who asked me to do it, I'll say George Minabot. How?
Well, I don't just want to embarrass Yvette Cooper. I want to see her and her gang of criminals out of Westminster. Simple as that.
This is a direct assault on democracy,
Yes.
on our democratic right to protest
Yes.
peacefully. Now,
Yes.
peaceful protest does not exclude direct action as long as the direct action is peaceful.
Yeah.
And Palestine action have hurt nobody.
That's right.
They have damaged equipment. That's criminal damage. You can civil law cover that.
Yeah.
They've graffitied buildings. Civil law cover that.
Yeah.
They've locked on. They've blocked roads. They've broke into military bases and sprayed a bit of paint on the side of the
So, David, taking your words, as in we've got laws to actually cover all these things they've done,
Yep.
right? Okay. You think to yourself, well, why are they doing this? The reason they're doing this is because it's embarrassing the hell out of Starmer et al.
That's right. Because
And
the real reason
Israel are on the phone to Starmer going, whoever Israel, whether it be just part of the lobby group or whatever, is contacting Starmer and saying, get this stopped. Get this stopped right now. It's anti-Semitic.
But the real reason, of course, is they know that there's a rising voice in civil society
Yeah.
and pointing at their complicity.
Yeah.
And this is their attempt to try and crush anybody in our society pointing out their complicity. Which brings us on to the next story, the one that was in the National, and that is radio silence on UK spy missions over Israel, which still continue to this day,
Beyond
along
this,
with their arms sales.
beyond this, week after week after week, why are Akrotiri still setting up spy planes to look for women and kids and men as well? I don't care. The human beings without weapons, without that, they're not going to attack anybody, and they're getting pointed out so they can get taken apart limb from limb.
Yep,
Sorry about that.
They're flying over, finding hot spots where there's Palestinian people, telling the Israelis where they are so the Israelis can bomb them. Simple as that. The other stunt they're playing over in Gaza and US, they're putting out bags of sugar and things like that to put people out. And then when they come out to try and get that food stuff, they get fucking shot. And as we know, they've turned their aid depots into shooting galleries. But the real reason why Palestine action had to be prescribed is because civil society is starting to ask this government why it is being complicit in this shit. We are asking, why is it that these flights are still going on?
Yeah.
There's no hostages left.
That's right.
Israel's flattened the fucking place. They've killed them all.
Yeah.
They have no intention of rescuing any hostages. They intend to wipe out everybody that's inside that open air fucking prison. Every single man, Jack. And that includes the rain.
That's another 39 dead today.
Today.
No,
So far.
39. No,
So
39 today, so far. Yeah.
So far. And it's 24 hours a day. So that's why Palestine arbitration is prescribed. Now, the idea of putting, again, everybody, folks, to put this a phrase, I support Palestine action, put there on social media, as they call it, because they cannot arrest us all. And it'll be highly embarrassing.
Hold on, just so I get the words right. I support Palestinian action.
No Palestinian. Palestine
action. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Because the people in the group are the Palestinian.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's Palestine action.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the British media blackout own the security, the spy flights, our Gaza is subject to a big report today in the National, in a cooperation with Declassified UK, who we've already spoke about, who actually did the expose on these and who are tracking their flights daily. You can see that video, that particular video and that particular report, including the National's involvement, on Declassified UK's YouTube channel, folks.
So,
UK YouTube
also just to round that bit up, mainstream media effectively is covering up for the RAF.
Not just the RAF, the government.
Yeah, I know.
The arms industry.
Yeah.
Because one of the most disgusting things about this situation is the UK government is placing the UK or placing the UK economy above the price of a human life.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Palestinian child's life, actually.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to swallow, folks. But as I say, the idea of putting this, I support Palestine all over the place, and I'll be doing it again. I've already done it. I'll be doing it again in my timeline. Is because it's to embarrass the vet coupon. Or just so you know, folks, the organisation that held that protest in Parliament Square yesterday, the Yvette Cooper Action Group. Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Yeah. Right, let's move on to green subsidies, David.
Yes, okay.
And this new app out there that we can use.
Octopus
Energy.
Octopus have gone out of their way to produce this.
This is an advert for them, by the way, folks.
Yeah, it's
they highlight the stupidity situation.
Yeah, I do not like Octopus. They are my provider of electricity and gas. End of story on the bill. They provide the bills anyway. But they produced this thing on wasted energy, wasted wind, if you like. It's nothing to do with farting. It's to do with things like the biggest wind farm that we've got at sea, right? And effectively, it's shut down for 71% of its time.
Aye.
Purely because they have to switch on gas-fired power stations down in England. They've got to balance the output. As David sort of rightly put it, he said we need to keep a balance of different types. But I would say, what, nuclear? Do we need nuclear? Take that out, right? But you're saying use gas. Well, at the moment, fine. But the gas that we produce in Scotland is not coming to England or Scotland.
No.
It's going to the highest bidder. End of story, right? So I would say that situation, it's like we need to be looking hard at what's happening with this particular problem. So look it up. It's if I can just look it up myself. There we go. Yeah.
John,
Seagreen is Seagreen is the name of the station or the at sea wind farm. the biggest one that Scotland has. It comes on board onto the land at Carnoustie and then goes across to a tiny village called Keeling. And if you read up on what's actually happening with that, my goodness me.
The app, David, it covers all the wind farms, right across the UK.
Yeah. Keeling
Going
area in Scotland is a key location in the national grid, particularly for connecting
what do you think your name is, Marcus? Just fucking
like
chuck
wind
it.
and solar power.
Just chuck it. Me reading our phones in this programme. I don't want roasted Mr. Larry the cat. Put the device down, boy. Anyway, the point of the app, folks, is to highlight where our green subsidy goes.
Yes.
Now, the amount of time that Scotland's wind farms are shut down, and because of the energy share carry on, it's quite shocking. So that will let you track it. But the point is, David, how much is the green subsidy? Because these things have to be shut down.
600, what is it now?
649,270,633 pounds.
Yeah, that was when I read it out to you.
Aye.
It's gone up by another chunk now.
Oh, aye.
It's they record a new figure.
Money she said the app updates now. Now let's get you John's super chat. The last political group that have attacked all the groups of people and went after a group of people were the Nazis, and the similarities of them and Labour is frightening. It's just taking off a lot of arguing with that, John. It would take a fair bit of argument with that, sir. Because let's face it, I've rang half the groups have been after. They've come after children, students, pensioners, disabled, Palestinian Action, or activists.
Yeah.
And as Dean's pointed out, next they're coming for us. And they might well be coming for David and I after this programme. But we don't care. Put the phone down, boy. I don't want Larry the cat having a pop at us. We're supposed to know what's up. I know they can take you. Anyway, they take your electronic device off you anyway, David. the day of Donald Trump on you and want to check to make sure you haven't been saying anything naughty. Anyway, your excuse your advice because you were typing I support Palestine Action into your phone, weren't you? Now back to the green subsidy thing, David. This app's quite an important thing because we know that once the interconnectors for Scotland down to England so they can sell on to Europe are completed, those wind farms will spin constantly.
Yes.
But our energy will not get any cheaper. The
English
people's energy will not get any cheaper.
I have no difficulties with energy connecting down to England. I've none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? Because we get independence, we can simply charge.
Slap a meter on it.
Yes, that's right. And we won't be charging for the electricity. No, that's down to the companies that own the turbines. We'll be charging tax. And if that tax is not paid, sorry, but we'll have to cut that connector.
Well, probably Canada's doing with America.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because that's where we're going next. Because that's where Netanyahu is.
Yeah.
Charlie Cat's just appeared. Oh, Charlie Cat. You just can't see him. Oh, you'll just see him on the screen there. Now, here he comes. Anyway, Netanyahu's in America and the press is spinning it that he's there. And Trump's giving him addressing down for the continued assault on the people of Gaza. But we know that's not true because he's just stuck another $500 million in his pocket, is he not?
Didn't realise that Charlie had only one eye.
No, he's got two.
Fucking jerk.
That eye. Right, listen, I'm sorry, I can't help any points. But he's here to calm me down because he's seen him getting a wee bit excited, David. As you know, cats like to check on you and keep you cool. I'm only just learning all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, and looks like you've got an admirer, Charlie. Larry's got pricked his ears up. Well, he's a big fan of yours too, Larry, I can assure you. I put one of your videos on these right here. He loves the bit at the end where the pussycat roars. Didn't he, Charlie Cat? Huh? He really likes that. Anyway, where were we? Netanyahu's there in America again with a begging bowl because the Israeli economy's on its arse. Going to the wrong place because the American economy's on its arse and all, is it not?
Yeah.
Or should we say in decline?
Yeah, we did look up what our friendly artificial intelligence had to say on it. Okay, we're not using the really expensive one, like ChatGPT, the real big one, right? We're using the little one that's used on social media, right? And it was actually it's contradicting itself within the same
Paragraph.
paragraph. There's a paragraph that is saying, "Oh, it's doing okay," and there's another paragraph going, "No, it's doing really badly."
And I want to say, aye, but, and then another one said, no, but.
no,
Aye, it was one of the ones, wasn't it?
yeah.
But to be fair, the tourist industry on its arse, the farming industry on its arse, the automotive industry on its arse.
Yeah.
Coal mining's having a wee resurgence, and pollution's having a wee resurgence in America.
No, but the thing is, their actual jobs market is through the ceiling. Do you know how come? What we've got is we've got a building getting built one side of the street, right? And what's happened is all the Mexicans or whatever have been told to bugger off, right? They're way back down Mexico, right? And the actual manager there is actually going through the woman's clothing company that's opposite side of the street and going, right, all you lasses, forget selling dresses for a living. You're coming to help me put a few RSJs in.
Tell you what, I'm not buying that fucking building if a couple of teamsters made it. That'll blow away. But no, you're right, David. That is the situation we've got. We've got a labour shortage.
Yeah.
Even in a shrinking a marketplace, if you take workers out of it, you're still going to have unemployment, and that's basically what Donny's done. He's created low-paid employment by getting rid of the low-paid workers.
Yeah.
And now they're expecting people who are on a decent wage to give up that decent wage and go and pick fruit in the fucking fields.
Correct.
Which is nuts. But I mean, Donny's not going to be very bright.
All that's happening is the time gets marked his own, things get worse and worse and worse until eventually there comes a point when they cannot hide it anymore. And where Trump is just going to sit on his desk with his head like that. He's got absolutely nothing he can do about it.
DJ, his channel's called Sir Larry the Cat. So it's I can't put a link in because I'm on Restream. But maybe if one of the mods is there, or maybe if Alistair's there, can you stick a link to Sir Larry the Cat's channel in the comments, please? Anyway, to say Trump's supposedly getting Netanyahu addressing doing the day, but he's actually getting $500 million in his back tail to try and pay his civil servants out there because the Israeli economy is on its arse.
I'm sorry, I mentioned Mark is saying, could you please advise the name of the app you were referring to? Thanks, Two Davies.
For tracking the wind.
It's the going to Octopus Energy and wasting wind, whatever it's called, right? You'll see it. It's up front and center.
Okay, so Octopus Energy's website, and it's the Wasting Wind app.
Yeah. So
there you go, DJ.
Sorry about that.
So, as we know, Israel's economy is failing. It's on its uppers. It's fake. The UK economy, the US economy is in decline. The UK economy is in decline. Being an ally of Israel is no good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, the turmoil that's been in the world lately is unbelievable because of what Netanyahu's playing at.
Well, I'll tell you who seems to be doing well. BRICS. They're doing awfully well.
Well, they're doing better than we are.
Yeah.
But saying that, they've cut out the middleman. They've cut out the American dollar. They're trading with each other direct.
Yeah.
In their own currencies.
Yeah.
And a fair system.
Yeah.
where it's no rigged towards the bigger, richer economies, like the World Trade Organization is,
Yeah.
or the International Monetary Fund, or the Bank of International Settlement. They're all rigged towards the big economies.
Well, the Bank of International Settlement is the one that Bank of England, etc., the Federal Reserve, all the rest of them go to, right? That's the international settlement is the bank, the lender of last resort.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And they
Hey,
look,
Tom, how's things? Iran's rubbing their horns.
oh, there we go, Tom.
Right, yeah, Tom, man. Anyway, folks, as I say, over the next few weeks, we'll get more and more involved with the audience because it's silly season, and Westminster's about to get into silly season and all.
Yeah.
So there won't be much on the politics front, but that doesn't mean there won't be stories. We'll have stories. It just means we'll be a wee bit more relaxed about it. Charlie Cat won't have to pop up on my knee to calm me down in case I do myself some damage. Well, you must know something I don't know, because according to the doctors, I'm as fit as fuck, so rant and sort of keep it. Should be alright for a wee rant here and there, David, you know.
Yeah.
I'll quick take this off now before I'm out. Even though we've still got 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I'll need to unwrap it, David.
Mine's me a rubber, so like fuck you. Yeah.
Your exercise bands, you got the woman at those to make them up by colour, didn't you? Yeah, right. Oh, we got this one for Palestine. This one goes to Gaza itself.
Well, each time I went for.
But I didn't go to Gaza. They were being sold in Glasgow and the money was getting sent to Gaza.
Well, I went for the strengthening of my leg. Some, if you like. I had to have these bands and the rubber. And what colour do you want? Each time I went, it was I want green this time. I went red this time. I went black this time. Yeah, that's it. Didn't get a white one, so I just had white.
You've added your handkerchief with the sock tire on it, David.
I do not blow my nose on this. Someone is that.
Hey, you follow Debbie Does Kelty. That sounds a wee bit dirty, DJ.
What?
But it shows you where my mind was in the 80s, doesn't it? I was thinking more along the line of Sally Does Dallas. You're loving the tea time spot, Tom. Thanks very much. But just about to round it up, to be fair.
What are you these days?
I see Tom the other week.
I don't see Tom because I don't got a.
That's because you don't get your arse out the door and get that stump on and start wobbling your bum.
I know, exactly. He's just said.
I see Tom at least 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure to see Tom, actually. It's a pleasure to see you all. I'm lucky enough, unlike David, I get out of Oakmere and I get to see you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point I'll manage it, but...
Now, you're asking me, Nathan McAllister, if I read Michael Gove's report. I did. The interesting bit about it was the English part of the study was missing. And it was talking about how they shouldn't be denying us democracy. They should just be timing it for when they know they're going to win. So they're not denying our democracy in Michael Gove's mind. What they're doing is timing it so that when we run another one, they'll be guaranteed to win. That's Michael Gove's argument.
Now, before too many people pile out at the end of the thing, the words to put up on your social media, I support
Palestine action.
Palestine action. Simple as that.
Yep.
Doesn't take too much to remember that. I support Palestine action.
It does not. And they're not going to come and lift you. Don't worry about it. You might have Facebook take it down. They might block this video.
If they do, I'm a big heavy lump and I've only one leg.
And apart from that, David, their show's got legs. They're not blocking it.
Yeah.
The majority of our audience is ways right now, a whole 158 of them. You know what I mean? So, we are going to be winding this one up in a couple of minutes, folks, but once again, your generosity, and that brings me to, I've got the details.
DJ Martin saying it was redacted big time.
It was, aye. That way where the English section is. I've got details of a couple of the charities. I'm waiting on another one getting back to me tomorrow. Then I'm off down to the bank, and then I'll give you the details on Thursday. Okay. Or where your money went. And believe me, these are all food banks this time. They're all good causes. Last time round it was food lockers, food lockers, and larders. This time round it is all food banks. And it's been very easy this time. Normally I go to fucking phone and batter emails out, just to get, can you give me your details?
Well,
The
don't
details
forget.
were
Don't
given
forget.
to me right away.
I salute the charities that the food banks that you're going to do, but my favourite is just out the back from us, Drumchapel. They always need help. They always need help.
And they'll get help when we get back round to that area again, David.
Yeah.
As you know. Right, so your money will get. In fact,
There's a knock at my door.
it's been so easy this month. It's been fucking day because last month it took me the whole month to nearly get it out the fucking door, David. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that had me trying to get, and then that's when I said halfway through the month, I'm just going to show up at 3 people's doors and get the fucking money. You know.
Yeah.
But this month it's been real easy. The people they now know about us, and when I phone up, they've heard of the channel. Jesus, John, you've got us off your wage for the day. We haven't missed the big story of Corbyn and Sultana. We did mention it earlier that the reason why they were setting up a party is because they want to shove the Labour back to left.
Here's a heartfelt, adopt me, please.
But, oh, yes. Oh, I didn't know that, John. No, that's a crank bit of information. The minute they started that party, 20,000 Labour members handed their cards back to support the new party. Brilliant news, John. Thank you very much for that bad news. I wasn't aware of that particular part of news. I knew it was going to happen, just didn't even the numbers out that quick. You know. As I say, folks, and David will tell you, this is going to be a wee bit relaxing this next wee while. We'll be able to interact with you guys in the audience a wee bit more because it is silly season. And I think the English schools break up beginning of July, don't they? Middle of July. This is the beginning of July. So,
Rachel says tea's up.
Aye, tea is up, folks. It's 16:57. I've got my boots to polish, a coffee to get my arse to work. So you're right, tea is up. David, thank you very much once again for joining us. And maybe over this period we can maybe get a couple more people to join us, David, because as I say, it is silly season. We may as well have some fun.
Well, like you keep on calling it silly season. There's no such thing as silly season. There are silly politicians that we deal with, that we comment on, right? But we are not silly people. We see
no.
the nonsense.
What I mean is, during recesses, the stories that come out are no as hardline and the rewash of the stuff that was in the press before it shut.
The unfortunate thing is we still have a lot of newspapers who seem to be doing something else other than actually thinking like normal, ordinary human beings.
But Tom's got a message for you, David. 6th of September, Edinburgh. He wants to see you there, or he hopes to see you there.
Yeah. And via a TV link, Tom, honestly, mate. You're welcome to come to our house anytime you want, Tom. You know that.
Well, that is time. John and everybody else that's given us a super chat today, thank you very much. Your generosity is unbound. The moderators, thank you for moderating. Folks, if you can hit the like button, please get us up over the 100. If we're not already up there, it helps that algorithm. So there's 156 of you all hit the like button on the way out the door. And I think that's about it. Thanks, mods. Thanks, everybody. Anything you want to add, David?
Just thank you, guys. I support
Palestine action.
Correct. All right. So please get it up on your timeline. Get it up any social media that you've got. X, especially, get it up there. Get it on there, because these idiots down in Westminster
need embarrassing.
Need embarrassing. Simple as that. Simple as that. You know. So
it's a great way to finish up, David. Thank you very much.
Right.
And we'll see you.
Bye, David.
Is on start Wednesday and Thursday. See you then. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Sorry, don't be late. You'll be on the